Hello everyone, this is Mr. Fitry coming to you virtually. Today we are going to begin Unit 1, all right, what I call Introducing Earth. And what you'll see is that our units are broken up into lessons, okay? Our lessons will usually will have one lesson per day, and included in that lesson is a worksheet. Okay, like I mentioned in the introductory video, you will have to write down the notes, all right, fill in the blanks essentially on the worksheets. So anything you see that is of a different color in this PowerPoint, they will be blue. You'll need to write them down, okay? And since this is a video, I won't leave much time to write the notes. So if you need to, please pause the video so that you can write down what is needed. And if you need to, feel free to translate anything you need to, all right? Write it down in Thai, look it up in the dictionary if you're not sure. So today our first lesson is called the Earth System, okay? The Earth System. So let's get into it. As always, we will have some objectives for each class, okay? Today we have two. First, what are the main parts of the Earth System? And then the second, how do constructive and destructive forces change Earth? We'll also have vocabulary, as always, all right? Again, these will need to be written down in full. Okay. First of all, system. A system is a group of parts that work together as a whole, okay? Now, we'll see this in a moment. It might become a little clearer. But a good example I want you to think about is our class, okay? All of us represent different parts of our class, okay? You are a student, you're with your friends, okay? I'm the teacher. However, we work together as a whole class, okay? We're not learning individually, all right? We're learning together. We are a system, essentially. Next, energy, the ability to produce change or do work, okay? You and I use energy in the form of food, all right, to function, right? We need to eat to live. We need to eat to grow, all right? We need to eat to do our homework, okay? If you don't eat, you're going to be tired and can't do the work. Same thing, think of a flower, okay? A flower uses nutrients and water and sunlight to grow and to live, to survive. Our cars or buses use petrol or gasoline to do work, to move, okay? All of these things, whether it's you or me or flowers or cars and buses, use energy to do work. The next three we're going to look at a little bit, and they will become clearer later. First one, erosion, the wearing down of land by natural forces. Okay. Constructive, okay, to build, form, typically over a period of time, okay? Think of building a house, okay? You're constructing it. You are doing a constructive work, let's say. And it doesn't happen immediately. It happens over time. Destructive, to cause damage. Okay, to harm things, to break things. Okay, good. Now, all right. So our first objective, and we'll look at each objective individually. And then we will look at it at the end as a little bit of a review. Okay, so our first objective, what are the main parts of the Earth system? So the Earth system is driven by two main sources. Heat from the sun, okay? We obviously can feel the heat. It is April in Thailand. It is the hottest time. And it's hot because the sun is hitting us more directly than at any time of the year. And that obviously affects us, right? You can't grow food without the sun, okay? And if we didn't have the sun, we would also be very, very cold. The second main source is heat from the center of the Earth, okay? As we'll see in a moment, the center of the Earth is hot. It's very, very, very hot, just like the sun. And that heat is moving outward and has, for millions of years, changed the Earth. Okay? So, let's move on here. Now, the Earth system also contains 4 parts. These 4 parts we call spheres, okay? Spheres of the Earth. Now, they are a part of the Earth system, which means that they are separate, but they are connected. They work together in some way. Let's look at these, okay? First one. Air. Next one, land. Water. And life. Okay? Now again, we can think of these individually. Okay? We know about oceans and rivers. All right, we obviously know about land, where we live. We know about life, okay? But think about it. Each one of these needs to work together, right? Obviously, water affects land, and air affects water. And life, you and me, obviously need water, air, and land to survive, right? So while we are all separate, we are connected, okay? We are a system. Good. Now let's look at these individually, okay? Now here we've got the atmosphere. The atmosphere is the scientific name for air, okay? The atmosphere is Earth's outer layer. Okay, we might not think of it as a layer, because you can't really touch it or hold it necessarily, but it is there, okay? It is made up of gases, mostly nitrogen and oxygen, okay? And this contains Earth's weather and is the foundation for the different climates around the world, okay? What do I mean by that? Well, if you think about Thailand here, we have right now the wet season, right? We've got a dry season. Around the world, there's also hot and cold areas, wind, obviously, and temperatures, different temperatures around the world. All of this is is driven by the atmosphere. Okay, it changes the climate around the world. Okay. Now, if you look at the picture, you'll see that there are several different layers of the atmosphere: the troposphere, the stratosphere, the mesosphere, the thermosphere, and the exosphere. Please just know that there are different layers, but you don't need to memorize them. All right, just think of air as the atmosphere, Earth's outer layer. That's the most important thing. Next is geosphere. Okay. Now the Earth has three main parts. Okay, the geosphere has three main parts. First of all, a metal core. Okay. A solid middle layer, and a rocky outer layer. Okay. We will look at these more closely later. Okay, their size, their composition, etc., etc. Okay. And if you look at the picture on the right, you'll see that the center of the Earth, what's labeled the inner core, is bright yellow. If you remember from what I said just a few minutes ago, the Earth is very hot in the center, and all that heat is moving outward, okay? And that affects the Earth. It has affected the Earth for millions of years. Again, we'll look at this more specifically later. Next, hydrosphere. The hydrosphere is the water element of Earth. It contains all of Earth's water. Now, just looking at the picture here, we can see that a lot of the Earth is covered by water. In fact, 3/4, or about 75% of Earth is covered in water. Now, this includes oceans, rivers, and lakes. But what we may not think about is that included in the hydrosphere are glaciers, okay, frozen water. Also groundwater, water trapped under the Earth, under the surface of the Earth, I should say. And also water vapor, okay, water in the atmosphere, okay, that will eventually come down as rain or snow. Okay, so every bit of water is included in the hydrosphere. Now, almost all of the water on Earth is salt water. Okay, only a small portion is fresh water. Important to note. And the last one here is the biosphere. Okay. This is the part of Earth that contains living organisms, and which can be found all over the Earth, within the Earth, and in the water. Okay? What is this? What do I mean by this? Right? What is the biosphere? What is life? Well, it's you, it's me, it's your mother, your father, your brother, your sister. It's also your dogs, your cats, okay? Your pets. It's the fish in the river, the elephants in the jungle, the worms in the ground, and the birds in the sky. Okay? Everything that's alive is included in the biosphere. Right? Now, let's review these quickly, okay? I've got a picture here of all the spheres of the Earth. Now I want you to think here, all right, what's number one? What's number one? Atmosphere, okay, good. Number two, what's number two? Geosphere, okay. Number 3, what's number 3? Hydrosphere, okay. And number 4, this includes the man and the woman fishing there, maybe the deer. Yeah, biosphere, okay, it's the biosphere. Good, so there we've got our 4 spheres of Earth, okay. So again, each objective will have a quick review at the end here, all right. So again, all right, biosphere, I'm sorry, jumped the gun there. Hydrosphere, all right, let's start with hydrosphere. This again contains all of Earth's water, and remember, it's not just the oceans, the lakes, the rivers, okay? It's also water vapor, glaciers, groundwater. Next, atmosphere, air, okay? This is the air we breathe. It's made up of oxygen and nitrogen. It also contains, controls the climate around the world. Geosphere, okay, our land. This is the Earth itself, and as we'll continue to learn, it contains 3 layers, a metal core, a solid middle layer, and a rocky outer layer. And the last one, okay, the little panda over here trying to get up. Oh, he fell. And trying again. Oh, he fell. This is again the biosphere. It contains all living creatures, all right, all living organisms. Okay. Now again, I want you to remember that all of these spheres work together as a system. Okay. Yeah, we might have 4, okay? Air, water, land, and life. But they would not be able to function without each other, okay? We would not be able to live without air and water and earth, okay? That's the most important thing to keep in mind. Good. Now, I think I'm probably a little beyond our time here, but let's quickly go on to objective number 2. How do constructive and destructive forces change Earth? Okay. Now, we've got constructive forces. These shape Earth's surface by creating rock and building up land masses, such as mountains. These include plate tectonics, volcanoes, and earthquakes. Now, you may not think of volcanoes and earthquakes as being constructive, okay? They tend to, create harm, okay? They tend to do damage. But actually, in reality, they are building up new land as they function, okay? Volcanoes spew new rock, okay? Earthquakes are caused by plate tectonics, which move and build new land, okay? Destructive forces, okay? These forces destroy and wear away land masses, all right, through processes like erosion and weathering. These again include ice, rain, wind, and changing temperatures. Now again, you may think, Mr. Fitri, ice, rain, wind, changing temperatures? These aren't destructive. Well, they're not maybe destructive, immediately, but over hundreds, thousands, millions of years, they can do great damage, all right? Look at the picture here. This is the Grand Canyon in the United States. At the bottom, you'll see a little river running through. Well, maybe not little, but this river, the Colorado River, has over hundreds of thousands of years worn away. They've weathered and eroded the rock you see, okay? So originally, this land was flat, but the river broke down the rock and created this massive canyon, okay? So the river running over a day or over a year is not going to have a great effect on rock or soil. But over hundreds, thousands, millions of years, you can get this, okay? So, to finish up here, again, our objective review. What are the two forces that change Earth? Well, they're constructive forces, okay? These build up Earth. They are plate tectonics, earthquakes, and volcanoes. We've also got destructive forces, okay? These destroy or break down Earth, okay? These are ice, wind, and changing temperatures, okay? The bottom picture there, you see lava, all right, from a volcano pouring into the ocean. That's constructing, that's a constructive force, building new land. The picture on the right of that almost arch-like rock is a destructive force, actually. Over millions of years, wind has pushed small pieces of sand and dirt against the rock, forming that hole, okay? Yes, wind has done that, okay? So, that is our first lesson, okay? Again, it's about the Earth system. A lot of this information will be built upon as we continue going forward with our classes, okay? So if things didn't make sense today, I truly believe they will be made more clear as we move forward and as we build upon these subjects, okay? So I hope you enjoyed our first virtual lesson. Dun, da, da, da. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to reach out. All right? Thanks.